Toast, Marmite, and ice.
Look
Is
like
that
we're live. What kind of
Super
recipe?
Engineer says toast, Marmite, ice.
For
Why would you put
what?
ice on that? That doesn't make any sense.
Well, you can, but why?
That's what I'm saying.
That sounds.
Hang on. I'm just trying to find out. Okay. Right then. Don't worry about that. Let's carry on with the show. I'm sure
Yeah.
they'll get back to us at some point. Let me put my phone onto what's his name?
Uh,
There we go. Onto airplane mode. That's
Working on
pretty
it.
good, yeah.
Oh God, this is ridiculous. Firefox is saying, "Oh, your computer might be slow.
Oh,
Here's
I
a
thought you
little
didn't use
turtle."
Firefox. I thought
I
you were
well, and
Chrome
then
phone.
Chrome went to shit,
Oh right, okay.
and now I have to use Firefox, and that's just marginally less shit. Basically, everything is shit.
Oh right, okay. Well, I mean, I know I've said this before, and I don't doubt you that it exists, but I've still never seen that turtle thing. I don't
I
know what you're
sent
doing,
you a
but I've never
screenshot
seen it.
of the fucking turtle on Twitter.
Oh, all right, okay, but I've never seen it in action. If you like, I've never had that happen to me. I don't
Yeah, be
know what I'm
happy.
doing.
I think
Yeah, I
I'm just
am. I'm very happy. I was quite surprised when you tried
yeah,
to
but
describe
also
it.
when we talked, you were surprised at the amount of tabs I have open. So
Yeah, I do think that's a bit excessive, but
I think I'm just doing a little bit more work with my computer.
well, you're certainly doing having a lot more tabs open. Yeah.
Yeah, it's called research.
Mhm.
Ah, God. Now this is like it's like fucking frozen. Um,
Um. Mhm.
I'm just posting this everywhere. Outlaw 361. Now,
Yeah. Okay. Find the music track. I may as well do that while we're waiting.
good idea.
Uh, Make sure I've got it ready. God, where are we? Shit.
This is probably some script just going haywire. I'm gonna close everything except the show notes in
Mm.
the Hangout once I'm done with posting this. Um,
Okay.
oh my God, I've got such an earworm.
All right. Well, what
Da,
is it?
da, 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 da.
Oh,
I'll infect you with it at the
how did you end up getting that on there?
what the chips.
Yeah.
Da, 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 da,
Uh,
da. I want to see the show again.
I saw you posting the
I
thing yesterday.
want to film that intro where they drive along like in Isernhagen.
Right.
I need somebody with a camera drone and
You're
then
gonna need some trousers that cut off the blood to your legs as
I
well.
can get those.
Probably. I'm
Yeah.
sure you can get those. Yeah.
Just give me a
Okay.
second. This is like slower than fucking
Mhm.
molasses. This is
Oh.
like this is like I'm working with the 486 here.
Oh. Yeah. It's It sounds like
I'm
it's not working out so well.
I'm
Okay.
blaming Google's new whatever this
Hmm.
new thing is for their streaming shit.
YouTube Live, whatever they're calling it.
Yeah.
Mm.
YouTube my penis. This is probably because they bought Twitch or something.
Yeah, probably.
Mm. Yeah, right. If I now could click on something, it would be bloody handy, Firefox. The problem is I can't shut it down because it's got the Hangout, and I'm worried I'll lose everything.
Yeah.
Where the fuck is this? Right. Or did I post this from the wrong account? Don't tell me I posted this from the wrong account. Oh, shit, 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 shit. Huh? Why is this not on here? Yes. This is the right account. Why is it not doing anything? Oh god, this is so slow. Ah, there we go. Ah, here we go. It's just so slow. It's like modem speed right now for me.
Mm. Well, the Hangout's working okay, so let's
Yeah,
keep our
I
fingers
think
crossed.
it uses all the like processing power for that, and
Mm.
I'll be done in a second. Sorry.
Yeah. I'm using Firefox on two separate machines at the moment, and so far it seems to be holding up all right.
Well,
Mm.
good for you.
How many tabs have you got open right now?
3.
3. Okay, so there you go. So there shouldn't be any problem.
Yeah, tell me about it.
You
Okay, I
said
think I.
300. I've got more than that open. I mean,
Well, that was when I'm at work. Now I'm.
uh,
Oh, I think it was Google Plus. As soon as I. No, it's not. It's still slow.
uh,
Slow
uh-huh.
as fuck. It's
There
like
might be some
barely usable.
JavaScript thing slowing it down.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get a
Wait.
JavaScript
I'll
thing.
try to close this window and do that
Hmm.
again. And leave the Hangout open. Although that's. I think it's the Hangout. I think that's like
Mm.
completely using everything. Okay, I need to open show notes again, and then we can go.
Hmm.
Right. I think I'm ready. Let's start recording here.
All right, I'll start my recorder. I
Recording.
am recording.
Okay. That is the
Is that your
music.
TV shirt, by the way? I didn't ask this.
Yeah, that's my TV
All
shirt.
right, I see.
I buttoned one more button.
All right, I was going to
I
say you're
just kept I
going
just kept a
casual.
random short shirt in the office because I knew I was gonna be on TV sooner or later again.
Hmm.
And I actually had to like I didn't have a bag or anything. I was wearing leather trousers because I was riding on the bike. So I had to get the jeans that I keep in the office and roll them inside my jacket
uh,
and drive there because you can't really wear leather trousers on TV.
it depends what show it is.
It's like yeah, not like evening news for elderly people.
Right, okay.
I look like fucking Michael Jackson.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure the old people would appreciate the leather trousers.
How?
Yeah, I think you underestimate them. Um,
They're tight, they're chips tight almost.
wow.
Except you can't see anything because they're thick leather, so you can't really.
Hmm.
Yeah.
When are you
Let's.
sitting down anyway? How would people see your trousers particularly?
No, I was standing.
Oh, right, fair enough.
No TV, most TVs. I didn't think they showed me below the waist, but you never know. He might zoom in on it.
Hmm.
You know.
Okay. I
I
thought
the
you might be behind a desk or
I
something.
the
Or, yeah.
security editor. I was, but you could still see the trousers. This is the security editor, Fabian Scherschel. Look at his fucking trousers. Never know with these TV people. You never know. Okay,
True.
I'll start the show, shall I?
Yeah, let's do this.
Let's 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 do this. Recording. Okay.
Hmm.
Oh, great. Now that other computer isn't working.
Oh God, you're going to blame
That's
that on
good.
Firefox as well.
No. This is okay. Let me
That's
just
also Firefox's fault, apparently.
reload. No, today apparently everything. It's one of those days.
Mm.
Apparently everything is broken. Right. Let's
Yeah, that sounds about right.
cue that all up again.
Hmm.
Fuck you, computer. Fuck you. Fuck you. Yeah, the application has closed unexpectedly. No shit. Yeah, I can tell that. Um.
Mm.
Okay. Let's do this again. Let's see.
Linux
Yeah,
Outlaws
that
is
works. Okay.
Yeah, I heard
All
that.
right. Um. Take two. Let's um. Let's do this.
Linux Outlaws is proudly sponsored by Bytemark UK. Check out their Big V platform for all your web hosting needs. Find out more at bytemark.co.uk. Six Gun Productions. New media, new rules.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Linux Outlaws episode 361. Hey, that rhymes. I'm Fab from Isenhagen in Germany.
Hey, how's it going? This is Dan. I'm coming to you from Liverpool in the UK,
I
and that
swear that
doesn't
wasn't
rhyme.
planned. That
Yeah, you
wasn't.
say that, but I can see you reading the script from here.
It's a shitty script.
It's got scripted, yeah. I do remember years ago. I don't know if I'm sure you remember this. Like somebody asked us if the show was scripted.
Oh
Have
God!
you
Yeah.
ever heard it? Have you ever heard this show before? How could you think that someone would sit down and write this shit out?
Especially, I mean, we don't edit much these days, but you can
Yeah.
watch it on YouTube without cuts on anything.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
you'll see it's not edited. We do not have teleprompters. Although I was
No.
in a television studio today again, and I always marvel at like teleprompters. You know, you know how they used to be like I can only remember the really old ones, which I wasn't in a TV studio back then, but when I was a kid and I shot behind the scenes stuff, it was always like a big screen that was right under the camera.
Yeah, and it scrolls like. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but now they have this thing where it's actually there's a reflective surface on the camera itself.
Oh right.
So the thing is actually the text is where the camera is. So you're looking at the camera, not slightly below it as it used to be in the olden days. It's
Okay, I didn't know that. I mean, I've seen the likes of those. It must be the same thing. Those see-through ones that people have now. Like Obama always has them when he does a speech. You have like a little glass thing that's almost
well, the
see-through.
the one in the television studio is actually it's the screen is mounted at a 90-degree angle from the camera, so it's pointing like in front of the camera straight up at the sky. But then there's like it's like a half see-through pane, which like flips the image. So if you're in front of the camera, you look at the camera, at the square camera thing, and you see the text. But I guess from the other side, it's see-through, so the camera doesn't see it.
Yeah, otherwise it'd look like the intro to Star Wars.
It's yeah, exactly.
A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah, it's kind of cool being in TV studios. Like everything looks so crappy. Like right after where like you see on TV, like half a meter to the left or to the right, it looks shit. It looks like a disused storage space or something.
But they're usually like warehouses, aren't they? Old warehouse type.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I mean, I have to bow to your superior knowledge of or experience of television studios in this. I see you're wearing your TV shirt still.
Yeah, I was telling Dan before the show that I was having there was an immediate emergency television interview. Like a colleague couldn't go, so he was like, "Can you do it?" And I'm like, "Okay." But I didn't have a bag or anything. I just rode on the bike there this morning. I basically look like Johnny from the Wild One, like Marlon Brando, jacket like that.
Well, that's pretty good.
Except that I was wearing leather pants, very tight leather pants. If I played the Chips intro in the beginning, if you remember Chips, like that kind of pants, but leather. So I had the shirt in the office because I was expecting to be on TV at some point, like on short notice. So I had a shirt there. So I put the shirt on. And I thought, shit, I have like jeans there. That like in the morning I take like the motorbike trousers off and put normal jeans on. But I didn't have anything to transport them with. Like I've got this bike, which is like this cafe racer, and doesn't have any space on it and nothing. So I had to put the jeans, fold it up, put it in my jacket, and drive there. And you could see the guy at the. I mean, I've been at the studio before. It was pretty much last year. You know, just when I started at Heise. You know, when I did the 2 interviews, like right back.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, one of them was in the same studio. It was a different show, but so I drive to the place, and last time I drove there in my mother's convertible. Because I still had the convertible here, we were moving shit. And this time I'm like driving up in the motorbike dressed like fucking Johnny. And the guy at the opens the gate looked very, so they looked at me like with a very suspicious. And what's he here for?
Suspicious, yeah, clearly a troublemaker.
Are they filming like biker movies next door or something?
They might be, yeah. Are there any biking TV shows? Aren't there any shows that would involve You know,
no, not these days. That was like a 60s, 70s thing, wasn't it?
Oh, okay. I was thinking more of like a motor program about, there might be one about bikes or something particularly, but obviously not.
Jonah says, Fabs now known as Punch.
Punch, yeah.
I wish. When I was a kid, I wanted me to be Punch so badly.
I think, I remember that. I think I probably did at some point. I don't know, those leather pants, you got to be careful of friction burns and stuff, It's dangerous. Be careful. Be careful out there, kids.
I would really need to watch the show again, but it occurred to me, watching the intro again yesterday, that the clothes they're wearing are really impractical.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not in LA, even there, it must be rain from time to time, but
yeah. Have a look at
What are you laughing at?
I'm laughing at the picture that who was it now? I think it might have been Mitzi. Yeah, Mitzi posted.
Okay, I'll try to open this. I'm not having luck with technology today.
All right. Well, be prepared for.
Oh my god! Oh my god! I'll have to put that in the show.
They got that picture of you from TV, I think.
No, I'm looking at pants where you can put your.
Yeah, that's right. They got that picture of you from TV, I think. That was
a close-up. From my leather pants.
From your leather pants, yeah. It says, "Here's Fab's leather pants." Anyway, we'll put the picture in the show notes so you can enjoy it.
There's also a very sexy picture of Punch on his Kawasaki.
Every picture of him is sexy. Eric Estrada.
My God, he's a beast. The beast of a man.
Yeah. Anyway, on that note, we got some sad news actually. I was really saddened by this. Earlier
this is Hollywood Outlaws, by the way. Just in case
you're wondering. Yeah, Tinseltown Outlaws again. Richard Kiel, who was best known for playing Jaws in the Bond films and a couple of Bond films. He was the really big guy with the metal teeth who would, he would attack James Bond and generally scare everyone. He was brilliant. Probably the most iconic, I would say, henchman in a Bond film I can think of. I mean, he's,
He was in several Bond movies for just that reason. They just brought him back because he was so awesome.
Yeah, apart from the only other one I could think of might be Here Comes an Early Ice Cream Job. I was going to say Odd Job was quite well known because of the Chinese guy with the hat and stuff. But no, he was really, really iconic. Yeah, he died at the age of 71, I think he was, or 72, last week, and it's quite sad. He was actually his. Well, I didn't realize. Obviously there's been a lot of stuff about him on TV and in the media and stuff since his death, but I never realized he made his first television appearance in the Monkees. I don't know if you've ever seen the Monkees, the 60s.
Is that the band they created?
Yeah, it was like a made-up band that was supposed to be like the Beatles, and they had a TV show where they do silly things. It used to be repeated a lot when I was a kid. It was originally a 60s show, and his first television appearance, first film appearance even, it came on the Monkees. He was played Frankenstein apparently in Frankenstein's Monster.
That would make sense. I mean, he was huge. That was
7 foot, over 7 foot tall. I don't know what that is in meters, but
fucking big.
Yeah, it's over 2 meters, isn't it? It's well over 2 meters. It's like 2 meters and quite a fair amount. So yeah, he's I know he said he'll be sadly missed.
He will be missed.
He will be missed. Yeah, big bucket of win. Yeah. There you go. So very sad. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say Roger Moore, who was basically I think Bond in all the films.
He's next.
Yeah, well, the thing, Roger Moore's like 86 or 87, so he's a lot older than Richard Kiel was. But he was Bond in Moonraker, and I forget the other one that prominently featured Jaws. And apparently they met for the first time, reunited for the first time in I don't know 30 years or something. Only a couple of weeks ago in England, and they became they were quite good friends, and they hadn't spoken in a while, and they got back together, and apparently they were talking about doing things together and all the rest of it. So he was really saddened by, and then suddenly Richard Kiel died, and it was kind of very sad because they were going to try and get stuff going again. But I don't know. I think you're right. Roger Moore, 87, I think he is 86. He can't be far off, can he? Really? So yeah.
Sorry, I'm distracted. I keep looking at pictures of Punch.
Oh right. Okay.
I think I can pull the hair off. My hair's not that dark, but I can pull the hairstyle off. And those leather trousers they're a bit small. I think I need a size bigger.
Yeah. Well, have a look
Pictures will be in the show notes for
I was
your
going to say, if you're listening to the
enjoyment.
podcast, go to sixgun.org and look at the notes if you want to see the pictures of what he's talking about.
Maybe we can reactivate Jezra again. You know when Jezra used to do when he was known for
Reactivate him.
yeah, when he was known for making Photoshop.
I remember that. He did the A-Team thing of Lug Radio
Yeah.
all those years ago.
I want to be punched, Ezra. Make that happen.
Okay.
That'd be great.
I did years ago. I mean, I don't know what ever happened to it. I did when I was a kid. I had the little. There was like a car and a van, and I think a helicopter, and like little toy models of, and they were the Chips ones. I had years ago.
Patrol.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, in other major news this week, you probably can't have missed this if you followed the news at all. Even people who aren't into technology particularly have been saying to me, "Oh, I see, whatever." So Microsoft have bought Minecraft, or bought Mojang, who make Minecraft.
Fucking bastards.
For $2.5 billion, which is quite a lot of money.
Well, it's funny because Notch, in a tweet last year or 2 years ago, I think, said my price is $2 billion. Well,
maybe they took him at his word. I don't know.
I think he was joking, but.
Well, if anyone's listening, my price for what can I sell? I don't know. For ratholeradio.org, you can have the website for $2 billion. How's that? So if someone wants to give me that, they can quite happily have that.
Well, I'd sell LO for $1 billion.
Yeah, I think I would as well.
We'd split it. Everybody gets $500 million. Yeah.
Yeah. Change the name. Do something else. Anyway, so yeah, there's going to be more on that. You're doing you've convened the. I was going to say the Cobra, whatever they call it. You know, when they have that Cobra thing where there's like an emergency meeting. You've convened an emergency meeting of Steel Rain. So you and Dave are going to talk about that, I believe.
Well, I'll rant for about half an hour solid because I'm not happy about this. But I'll save that for later. Meanwhile, I'm cooling down with rum.
Excellent.
I finished the Bullenschluck last night, and it killed my cold. I think the cold's gone, which is cool.
Probably along with a few brain cells, but not important ones.
I was writing an editorial for CT, and I needed to make that really funny. But apparently, I succeeded.
Good.
People will be able to read that soon. Anyway, yes, let's get into some actual open sourciness.
Mm-hmm. Open sorcery.
Open sorcery. Apparently, Bodhi Linux is dead. At least the project leader.
Yeah, I was going to say. I mean, the project's not officially dead. The project leader's left. Stepped down.
He was the only guy working on it lately, though.
Well, it says that, but they're looking for someone to take it over, so it may not be dead if somebody takes it over. Jeff Hoogland, I can't say that properly. Jeff Hoogland, anyway, who was the developer. Yeah, he was the main developer, and he actually says in his blog post that when he started working on the project about 4 years ago, he wasn't the only developer. There were lots of other people involved, and as time's gone on, I think they've all kind of fallen away. He says here, due to a variety of reasons, I will no longer be actively developing Bodhi Linux. And he said, he goes on to talk about how he's kind of, enjoyed doing it and stuff. But he says, Bodhi Linux is a labor of love for me that was started nearly 4 years ago. In that time, all of the other original team members have fallen away. In fact, I have worked with dozens of different people over the course of the last few years, made friends, and learned more than I ever could imagine. But basically, the bottom line is he's the only one left. And it doesn't want to do it on his own anymore. And I don't blame him. So he's offering to, he says this due to a crowdfunding thing, or not crowdfunding exactly, sorry, due to the users donating money to Bodhi Linux, the servers are paid for until April 2015, so that's about 6 months away. A little bit more than 6 months, maybe. And he says if no one chooses to pick up the project, at least your existing repository access will be there until 2015, April 2015. But he's actually looking for someone to take it over. So he's offering to help them, learn how to do it and all the rest of it. So if anybody out there listening fancies a challenge, why not?
I see Larry Cafiero wrote a comment thanking him on the blog. Okay. And if people don't know, Bodhi is I think it's Ubuntu based, and its big thing is its enlightenment.
Yeah. the Enlightenment desktop.
This is people getting kids. They destroy everything, I tell you. Like all the friends I have at uni, they all get kids now, and they fall out of life. You don't see them anymore. It's like
it's a fairly big it's a fairly big thing. Not that I have kids, but I mean I know from experience, from seeing other people do it. So you got Bodhi Linux, blah blah blah. I'm just trying to see what it says now. Enlightenment. There you go.
Hello will not stop because I'll have kids. It'd rather stop because I drink all my fucking brain cells away, and then we'll have to do a show with the potato.
Okay. Well, as long as you leave me your shirt, I could put the. As long as you got potato in the shirt. That's
what
fine.
do you think, Fab?
Or the glasses as well. As long as you got the glasses on the shirt, that's fine. And the leather trousers. It says Enlightenment coupled with a minimal set of utilities such as browser, text editor, package management tools, blah blah blah. It doesn't say what it's based on. You think Ubuntu? Oh yeah, sorry, no, it does. They are following Ubuntu LTS releases apparently. So there you go. So if anybody is into Enlightenment or into the idea of having a distro to run for yourself,
whatever you're into. If you ever wanted to take over a fucking Linux distribution, here's your chance.
Yeah, there's one raring to go. Yeah. That's pretty impressive. Moving on, we got some news about AttachMate, or the company who own Novell, who own SUSE.
It's getting complicated.
Basically, through a long series of connections, AttachMate basically owns SUSE right now, and they bought it a few years ago, and there was big fuss over what was going to happen and how it would all work out. And in fact, I can't really see that much has changed.
Nothing has changed, really, no.
No, I mean, they've moved back to, they actually moved a lot of their development stuff back to Munich. Is it Munich?
Yeah, to Germany, and I think that's good. No, isn't it?
Is it Munich?
I don't know.
I thought it was Munich, because I remember Jan Wildeboer likes to kind of fight with them over stuff. Because he's
hired, like, lots of the guys went to Red Hat when the Novell thing happened.
I thought they were based in Munich. I don't know why I thought that. Well, they're based in Germany anyway.
Give me a second.
Okay. Well, I'll carry on while you're doing that.
Nuremberg.
Okay, fair enough.
HQ is in Nuremberg.
So they're based in Germany. Yeah, I knew that. I knew it was somewhere in Germany.
So there's your Nazi connection for the night.
Yeah, Nuremberg address. Yeah, a Nuremberg rally. Sorry.
Nuremberg trials.
Yeah.
Nuremberg rally. That was a classic. I mean, oh my God.
Was that Colin McRae?
Yeah, I think Colin McRae won that one twice.
Yeah. Yeah, that was quite impressive on a rough track.
Hitler was going, Who is this Scottish man? Why is he winning my rally?
Yeah, that figures. So the news anyway is that AttachMate are now looking like they're going to be bought up themselves by a company called Micro Focus, who yet another company I don't know anything about, apart from the fact that they also own, they own Borland. Yeah. And Borland, I used to use Borland software when I was at university. We had to use JBuilder, which was their Java IDE.
Fuck thing. Yeah, I used, when I was in school in Australia in computer science, we used Delphi. Borland.
Yeah, Delphi was quite popular as well.
Yeah, apparently Micro Focus does a lot of COBOL. Oh, let me drink something. I've got this weird taste on my tongue.
Yeah, they they do lots of interesting things, but
they do boring things mostly. They do like mainframes.
Well, all right, yeah, they do lots of.
Kind of fits with the Novell thing because they do boring shit like network fucking.
Well, like make loads of money, yeah.
Basically, I think what they do is they actually don't tell them this, but they actually they do cloud stuff. Just like old school cloud, and it's like IBM, the network's the computer, except they haven't understood this yet, and they're not calling it cloud yet, but it will happen.
Yeah. It will happen eventually. I mean, every company has a cloud. Well, we've got a lot of stuff to talk about cloud-wise later on, and companies and cloudiness and stuff. But yeah, you're right. I mean, it's just the old client-server model.
Somebody in the ICS just said, Visual Pascal, nice. What the fuck?
I think that's what they're comparing. That's John Archer, isn't it? I think they're comparing it to Delphi.
I think your pants are a bit too tight, man. It's leading to weird understanding of things.
Anyway, so
Johan V says he has to maintain some old Delphi 7 stuff.
Wow.
The executable has 97 in its name, referring to a year in the previous millennium.
Shit,
it's software from the previous millennium. It's like 140K.
So that's like 17-year-old software.
They probably have to sacrifice cycles to have it run.
Yeah, I would imagine. Yeah, that's the news. Anyway, Micro Focus are hoping to buy up Attachmate for roughly $1.2 billion. They could have bought Minecraft twice. Well, Microsoft could have bought this twice for the price they paid for Minecraft.
I think Minecraft is worth a lot more, to be honest, than fucking.
Probably.
Novell, SUSE.
So SUSE president Niels Brauchman has declared. Has declared that OpenSUSE...
He's declared war. I declare war on stress.
War on stress, yeah. He's declared that, he's had talks with the OpenSUSE board and that a takeover will make no difference to SUSE or OpenSUSE. SUSE will continue to financially support the open source project, and SUSE Linux Enterprise Edition, whatever, will continue as a product. So I suspect, considering all the fuss over how much was going to change when Attachmate bought Novell, everyone thought it was the end of the world and stuff, and really nothing really changed as far as I can tell. So I don't know that this is going to make that much difference either, but who knows?
Yeah.
Yep. So I guess, as we like to say, we'll keep an eye on that and see what happens. More people buying things, companies buying things. Eucalyptus, which is the thing that Mark Shuttleworth was involved with, wasn't he, for a while? Or he was very keen on it anyway.
Ubuntu and the Canonical was very keen on it. I think he was rubbing shoulders with Martin Mikos.
Right, yeah.
Who will now join HP.
Yeah, he will. Eucalyptus, the CEO of Eucalyptus, which is a cloud company, Martin Mikos, who's famous for his involvement in MySQL and other things, he's going to be joining. Yeah, HP are buying Eucalyptus. He's going to join HP as the senior vice president, and general manager of cloud business. So yeah, there you go.
Lots of farts.
Yeah, he will lead the HP cloud.
He's a bit of a dick, by the way. He and Monty engineered the whole MySQL business model licensing thing, and we know how well that went.
Yeah, hasn't worked out so well for I don't know. It worked out well for them financially, I suppose. But,
he's fucking rich now, I think.
Yeah, and I suspect being senior vice president of HP is not going to hurt his wallet any. So yeah, it says he will lead the HP cloud organization in building out the HP Helion portfolio based on OpenStack prior to Eucalyptus. Okay, fair enough. So I guess we'll see what he does with that. But they're going to start using Eucalyptus apparently. So
yeah.
Fair play. All right then.
Everybody's going with OpenStack and Docker, and they're like,
they are now, yeah.
Hey, Eucalyptus.
Well, it said something about OpenStack in that release as well. They're going to do something else with OpenStack.
Eucalyptus was based on OpenStack, something.
Or vice, yeah.
I don't
probably
know.
Not vice versa.
No, not the other way around. But I don't know if they're still using it.
Okay. Speaking of cloudiness and vice presidents and so on. This is all slow. It's a very tenuous link. Red Hat have lost their chief technical officer, the CTO, a guy called Brian Stevens, who's been at the company since 2001. So 13 years? He's been he's going over to Google, and he's going to be vice president of cloud platforms at Google, which is I suppose quite a big move for him, but Red Hat's no small fry either.
Yeah, I think it's a good move for him, and I'm not sure happy Red Hat's about that, because if you read CTO is quite a high position in the company, and
it's usually right next to CEO, isn't it? Pretty much.
Well, yeah, it's like CEO, CTO, and then the business guy, the chief operating officer, but like. Jim Whitehurst had a very, very short and terse statement. Like, we want to thank Brian for his years of service and numerous contributions to Red Hat's business. We wish him well in his future endeavors. Like, if you get that as a goodbye letter at a company, usually it's like you were fired in bad blood.
Maybe. I mean, speaking of as a, I know he said speaking as a friend of Jim Whitehurst. Not that I am. Speaking of somebody who's met Jim Whitehurst once. I know he said once or twice, but actually probably more like once. I don't know. I feel I'm in a position to tell you exactly what he feels about this because I've met him once and we talked for about half an hour and clearly I know all about him. Maybe he is upset about it, and maybe it wasn't. Maybe there wasn't a lot of notice. Maybe it's come out of the blue and they weren't expecting it, and maybe they're not happy with the way this was done by Google or by this Brian Stevens himself. Who knows? We're only wildly speculating. Maybe they don't give a shit. Maybe he doesn't give a shit. Maybe he's like, who? Who's left? What does he do? All right.
Jim in a haze of cocaine going, what? Who's left? Do we need that guy?
I suppose I should write something.
Get Jan. Let him do it. I don't know. It just seemed weird and short to me. I don't know. It looks to me like he got a better job offer from Google and then just left.
Yeah.
Which is kind of, pissed Red Hat probably off after him, like, being in such a high position for, like, years.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to lose someone who's been there 13 years, and obviously we would imagine.
Or maybe there's something really wrong with with Red Hat's tech, and he's running away because it's all going to fall apart in a few months.
Or looking at it from another angle, maybe it's a ploy, and really he's been sent to Google from Red Hat by Jim Whitehurst as an apocalypse kind of move. Yes. Yeah, it's like an apocalypse kind of move. And before you know it, they'll have like the Red Hat search engine and I don't know, whatever else. We'll have to see. We'll have like Red Hat Hangouts and I don't know, Red Hat other stuff, Red Hat Docs. I don't know.
Well, Red Hat Drive. That kind of makes sense. Red Hat's kind of close with the NSA, and so is Google. So maybe that's like the plan to merge or something.
Yeah, it could be. Speaking of Red Hat, they've released Satellite 6, which is that the thing that was based off Spacewalk? Or am I? Well, they talk about Spacewalk later on. So basically, Satellite is for managing servers. It's for
I think Spacewalk's the open source version.
Well, no, Spacewalk was the project they were using. So it says here they moved out some of their own Spacewalk project code to move in stuff from Puppet form and other things. Anyway,
we would need the Brigadier to tell us all about that, but like ever since he moved to Berlin,
probably not allowed.
Not a fucking peep from him.
Also, he's probably not allowed to say anything mildly, opinionated when it comes to Red Hat because his company time and all that.
I think
not in public, I mean.
I think you're confusing Red Hat and Canonical.
Well, I wouldn't be so surprised, Anyway, so Satellite is their server management system. They use it a lot for VMs as well as physical servers and so on. And they've released version 6, a new version. And they're saying now that it's been readied for the cloud apparently. So it says here to expand Satellite 6's reach, Red Hat has shunted out some of its own Spacewalk project code. So that's what I was referring to before. Spacewalk was kind of a predecessor. Satellite has brought in stuff from Puppet. That makes sense. Puppet's massive. Foreman.
Spacewalk's the community version.
Okay.
Yeah, I see.
Fair enough. Yes, it's based on Spacewalk. There you go. Spacewalk is the community version. Thank you to John Archer for that. They're actually trying to make it more ready for cloud stuff. So they can.
Basically, if I understand this correctly, then Satellite was used to manage, like if you have several RHEL servers in different locations, for example, over the globe, you can roll out updates to RHEL and shit like that through Satellite. But it was designed to just have normal boxes where Linux is, RHEL is installed like on the bare metal. It's like a normal server install. It could work with virtualized, RHEL being installed in a
virtual machine
hypervisor or something like that, but it would treat it as different RHEL installs, and I think this is what they mean with it's more ready for the cloud. It's more efficiently, like, it's targeted at like more heavily virtualized things. So they're probably gonna go the Docker way as well with containers and stuff. You can now apparently do when you have something like OpenStack, basically you do not have the old way was you'd have different containers, different virtual, like you have one server, and then you'd have, like, I don't know, six different RHEL systems running on top of that. You'd have 6 servers basically on one hardware, on one metal server. But with stuff like OpenStack, it's more like you have RHEL running, and then you provision applications, and they kind of share the resources. It's not like it's 5 versions of the RHEL distro that you all have to update. It's one RHEL underneath, and then this little application containers. But when let's say you install, it's a very untypical use case, but let's say, we would use it for that. Let's say you install WordPress. You have a little contained thing with WordPress in it, but it also installs all the dependencies.
Yeah.
So now what Spacewalk needs to do is, if it updates the underlying RHEL, it needs to update that, but then it needs to update my WordPress instance and my Discourse instance, and they both probably have their own version of PHP, and that needs to be updated. So I think that's what it does now. It's more on a application basis.
Yeah, and also it provides, like, people in the IRC are saying, it provides a local repository basically. So you have if you have a satellite machine in your office or in your data center, you can use that as like a local mirror for things as well, which is probably quite handy. And it says here as well,
diamonds on the satellite.
We're getting back to Moonraker, aren't we? We're getting back to Jaws again.
Diamonds are forever.
Sorry. Yeah.
I
was waiting for. We need to get back to get Jaws back in there somehow. Anyway, so
you go Drax. I could be Drax. I've got the beard.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, so it says here, not only can it manage bare metal workloads in the cloud, VMware workloads running under RHEL, under ESX server. It'll do stuff with Amazon Web Services now, and their versions of Zen. It'll do all kinds of things. So basically, it doesn't really care anymore where you're hosting your RHEL instances. It will deal with it, which is quite handy.
Yeah, Kane in the IC says Red Hat's licensing model is pretty bad for modern virtualized environments. Because apparently they license by CPU cores, but not the actual physical cores, but like the apparent cores. And I've read that as well, that they probably need to change that soon.
I think they'll fix that. I mean, I think they're a smart company. They'll probably realize it.
I think it's not so easy to do, because it'd be kind of easy to cheat, probably. But I don't know if they really worry about that. Like, their licensing, like enterprise licensing, is basically. It's kind of based on trust anyway. It's not like they come to you or they have software where they couldn't. It's like not that they usually have DRM. Like, if you do bulk licensing, like even with Microsoft and stuff, you have your own update server. You have WSUS or whatever it's called, and then you kind of don't, like, they can't control like how many systems you've got running. You just buy enough licenses, and they kind of trust you. They kind of know how big company is, and they kind of trust you, because you as a company also, if you're a big company, you can't really afford to lie on that kind of thing.
Well, you want to maintain if you're a big company particularly, you want to maintain a good relationship with someone like Red Hat as one of your suppliers, because if you need their help, you don't want to piss them off. So I mean, there's always ways for people to cheat if they want to, but I'm not sure that's I don't know, maybe it is a concern for them. Something for Fontana and the Red Hat legal department to work out, maybe. And that's supposed to be more like accounting, wouldn't it, than legal. Anyway, so meanwhile, onto the German news. Kind of. Hamburg, which is not so far away for you now. Yeah, Hamburg have created.
I have a residence there.
It's your summer residence.
Yeah, this is where producer Katie is right now.
Yeah. The federal state of Hamburg have created a new open data site, website, I should say, called the Transparenz Portal. I don't know how you say that.
Transparenz Portal.
Transparenz Portal. Yeah. The site was created as per the Transparency Law of 2013 to allow citizens to gain access to protocols, policy papers, statistics, and reports of the state government and city council. It also includes geodata and environmental measurements. That's quite cool.
Yeah, Hamburg is one of these weird German federal states, which is a state and a city. And both is like the same size.
Yeah, I saw that. It's the city and the federal state.
That's why it's called the Freie and Hansestadt Hamburg. So it's the Free and Hanse city of Hamburg. The Free and Hanseatic city of Hamburg, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Also, they have their own domains, not for this site. But I got fab.hamburg because I was bored.
So I mean that's quite cool. They've released the stuff. It's all out there.
They have like a transparency law, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So this is where we really. Cool. Yeah, I was going to say this is where we really get into the German news, where you can, you can explain this one to us. But back to the Munich Limex story.
Southern Germany. Yeah, I was saying I'm keeping my eye on this. Just quickly, I'll put a link in the show notes. They're all in German though. So basically, the Green Party is saying they're now investigating the switch back to Windows. They want to know why the city is doing it, if they're doing it, and how much it will cost. Meanwhile, the mayor's office, the bastards, are saying Linux. They're basically still saying Linux is a problem, not Linux.
Yeah, not Linus himself.
Apparently, the workers in the city administration are complaining, saying their systems are inferior. The guy actually talked to Heise.
Who the fuck is saying that?
Yeah, the mayor's basically, he talked to Heise, he was waffling, he was like really vague, going, well, basically people are saying our systems, they're not up to scratch, they're not up to like companies' systems and shit, and it was like, if you read it and you know a little bit about IT, not even specifically Linux, you know that he's just making up excuses. It's really bad.
To be honest, I think Linux is fine for like small little companies like Google and HP and those kind of small companies who don't do very much, who don't have as much to deal with as obviously the city of Munich or the state of Munich.
To be fair, in the administration stuff, they mostly use Windows and Macs as well. I mean, his problem is like, okay, some stuff isn't. I mean, they're changing stuff now as well. They're always changing this project. It's not like one thing. I mean, right now they're getting Colab is working at like replacing all the Colab.org, which is what's his name? Oh God, don't get his first. Gerald Greve, the guy who founded FSFE.
Hans Gruber? No.
Yeah.
We're back to Gruber.
The guy who founded Yeah, Georg Greve, right. We talked about him. He got the Cross of Merit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we did.
Dun, 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 da, da, da. Salute. So Colab, they're working on stuff. Well, basically, he's saying, well, people can't use like mobile devices to like schedule meetings and shit. To which I'm going like, I've seen IT and city administration. Like, if that's their smallest problem, they're like really well off, right? Some of these like city IT people, they can't even. It's like they can, like if you send them like a PDF, like if they want something faxed and you say you don't have a fax and you send them a scan, like they can't deal with that because of their computers. And like if your only fucking problem is that you can't schedule meetings on a fucking iPad while you're driving along in your fucking Porsche, then get to your fucking PC, you prick! I mean, what do you think he's working for? Fucking Google? He's working for the city IT. Like, I have news for you. You may be the mayor of Munich, but like you're not the most awesome guy in the world. Like, also you're supposed to serve the people. I don't understand. Like, this is the guy who said, "Well, I'm a fan of Microsoft." How can you be a fan of Microsoft? You're the fucking mayor. Like, you're supposed to save. I mean, I don't live in Munich, but like, you're supposed to save the money. Like, if I'm in this city, I don't give a crap. If I'm paying my taxes, I don't give a crap if you can't schedule a meeting from your fucking iPhone. You're supposed to save fucking money. Schedule less meetings. Do more work.
Yeah. Or get a decent mobile device that you can do it with. I don't know. I mean, so presumably he's complaining about the fact that they don't use Exchange or any of that kind of stuff.
I don't know. He's complaining because he doesn't get money from Microsoft on the side or whatever.
Well, there is that, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of meals can be bought. And
what do you expect? It's fucking Bavaria. They're like
hotels paid for and so on.
I think I said this years ago when we talked about Linux. They're all crazy down there. But meanwhile, interestingly, they had the cities. I wrote the head of the city's CIO. That doesn't make any sense. The city's CIO. Let me just change that in a note. See, this was a long day. I was a lot to do today, so I didn't.
Is that Chief Information Officer?
Yes. So the main guy, the head guy for the IT, says that's bullshit. It's not Linux. Basically saying they have problems. They do have problems. He says users aren't supported well enough.
Okay.
Like their systems are generally just crap in places. Like, they probably don't have tablets, so people can't just fucking schedule stuff from tablets anyway. Which I completely believe him. I mean, I've worked in schools. I've seen like city administration, because even in school you're like also dealing with the city administration who runs the schools and stuff, and like they have other problems, and usually they don't have enough support personnel. So I think all these complaints are just people who are, they just complain, and they just need help with computers generally. Like,
yeah, I mean, I'm surprised that I'm not surprised they're saying that the user support isn't good enough. What I'm surprised about is how they think that's going to be better. Are Microsoft really going to be that much better? I mean, how are they going to... I don't understand that. Microsoft not renowned for customer support,
exactly.
In my experience, anyway.
The head of the city IT, he's going to do the support.
Oh, right, himself.
They will have to... Well, they have a... We talked about this. They have this Atom at M something. Basically, is this? They outsourced it to a company who works for the city who does like who does this project. They do all the support as well. So if they switch to Windows, they'll have to do the support, which they get us. And then they know, these people know, they're not the ones commenting about Linux. They know that they get even more support requests when they switch again. So
yeah, I mean, I suppose to play devil's advocate a little bit, there may be a case. I don't know if this is true. I'm just speculating. There may be a case for saying that there are more companies who will do desktop support for Windows than Linux, and it's easier for them to get, go to another company and get them to do it instead. I don't know. That's just one reason, possibly, that you could say it might be easier for them to be on Windows. But then again, I don't really think, I don't really think it's going to solve the problems.
Hello, IT. Try turning it off and on again.
Is it definitely plugged in?
No, that's the button that turns it off. Oh, no, you turn it off again.
Yeah.
That's the sound you hear when it comes on.
Yeah. All right, and so, meanwhile, speaking of city administrations and Linux, this is such a smooth segue. Turin, the city of Turin in Italy.
They invented the Turin test, didn't they?
Yeah, and where that guy Alan Turin was from.
I think isn't Leonard Petring from there as well.
He could be.
We have a saloon thread now about his name and his pronunciation of the name.
Right. I don't know if that episode's been released of Faith yet, but I'll have a look.
If I meet him again, I think it has. I think they clipped it in the saloon.
Yeah.
If I meet Leonard again, I'm going to take a recorder and going to have him record. Hello, my name is Linus Torvalds. Hello, my name is Leonard Petringa. And I pronounce my name Leonard Petringa.
Yeah. Meanwhile, back in Turin, anyway, as Munich are seemingly wanting to move away from Linux, the city administration in Turin, in fact, are moving towards Linux.
Which is in Italy.
It's in Italy, yeah. They're going to move from XP, which is out of support now anyway, so probably a good idea.
Time.
Yeah, they want to move to Ubuntu. The €6 million project, apparently. They've announced, the municipality of Turin, they're hoping to save €6 million, by switching from XP to Ubuntu Linux in all of their offices. The move will mean installing the operating system on 8,300 PCs, which will generate an immediate saving of roughly €300 per machine. And almost €2.5 million altogether, made up in the cost of Windows and Office licenses, a sum that will grow over the years as the need for the renewal of proprietary software licenses vanishes, and the employees get used to new machines. Okay. It says actually rather old machines. Another reason for switching to Linux was the computers the Turin offices are using are quite old, and installing Windows 8 would probably be too demanding for them. Whereas, fucking hell, if they're old XP machines, of course they're going to take Windows 8. Yeah. Whereas Linux offers more flexibility for the older machines, and the support for Windows XP officially ended this year. Sticking with Microsoft didn't make much sense to Turin. The switch to Ubuntu was officially approved in early August and is expected to take around a year and a half to complete. So, that could be cool. I hope it works out for them.
Should have switched to the Mac.
Yeah, they're buying. They've been onto Cupertino, and they're ordering 8,300 Macs instead to replace those. Can you imagine?
One Mac is all they can afford.
Yeah. God. Can you imagine the cost? Yeah, for that.
Yeah, I know my boss pre-ordered the new iPhone.
Oh God, the $700 one or the $800
iPhone? Yeah, it's €1,000.
That's just insane.
That's back. That's to be honest.
Yeah, that is pretty bad. So, anyway, well done to Turin for that. All right, and so security stuff. Freenode, the IRC, the IRC network, which we use.
Interlude.
Yeah, the IRC network, which we actually use for our own. For our own IRC channel, which people are chatting away in right now.
Use right now.
Yeah. They had their servers compromised. Yeah, so the Freenode infra team noticed an anomaly on a single IRC server. It says we have since identified that it
makes everything better.
We have since identified that it was indicative of the server being compromised by an unknown third party. This gives a weird kind of feel to this story.
Yeah, doesn't it?
We immediately started an investigation to map the extent.
Motorbikes.
Yeah, to map the extent of the problem, and located similar issues with several other machines, and have taken those offline. For now, since network traffic may have been sniffed, we recommend that everyone changes their NICServe password as a precaution. Since traffic may have been,
I'm turning it off. Sorry.
That's all right. So, since traffic may have been sniffed, you may also wish to consider any channel keys or similar secret information exchanged over the network. Yeah, so it sounds like it's quite extensive, actually. They found one server that had a problem, and then they looked and found there was a lot of them that had this problem. And they're quite worried about that. So they've taken a lot of them offline, and they're saying whatever you might want to change your passwords for your Freenode accounts and so on.
Jonah says it wasn't me. John Archer.
It wasn't me. Okay. I think he's a bit too keen to deny that.
I'm Spartacus.
I think we should find out what. Yeah, I think we should find out what his alibi is for all of this. Anyway, so that's pretty cool. Moving on, more security stuff. A vulnerability in the Android open source browser. Is that right?
That's the Android, also known as the browser. Before KitKat, this was in all Android phones, like the one before Chrome. For the introduced Chrome. And this is a another cross-site scripting. God, I got that mixed up. It's the bloody same origin policy bypass. So basically, a malicious site can read cookies and other information from another site you've got open. Which on desktop PC is pretty bad because you get your banking open, you still have to malicious site, and they have your data.
Yeah.
Banking data. I don't know. On Android, it's kind of hard to gauge how bad this is because most people use apps for that, and then the question is the vulnerability in the web view that the apps use? But this browser is still on like 75% of all Android devices, especially all the cheap ones, and like Google hasn't even acknowledged the bug yet. And even if they do and they fix it, it will never get into these devices because they're old and they're the cheap ones, and the carriers don't update them. It's still really important that Google fixes them, the bug, because this is the browser that's also, because Chrome's proprietary, is the one that gets shipped with almost all the custom ROMs. Not good. So this Google should acknowledge and fix this hopefully pretty soon.
I wonder why they're they haven't denied it, they're just ignoring it at the moment.
Well, I don't know, they're probably scrambling to find somebody to know how that still works because they switched to Chrome for everything. Proprietary Chrome for all their stuff.
I think that everyone at Google's too busy preparing Brian Stevens' new office. We
didn't talk about this, but before the show, I want to start the Hangout on air.
Yeah.
And it told me I had to validate my YouTube account, so I did. Well, this was the 6-gun one. So I did that, got out my phone, validated, and then still wouldn't let me create a Hangout. And now it turns out you have to go to YouTube and do it on YouTube, and it's like fucking complicated. It's like really hard to do because it's YouTube Live. I think you can also use the livestream.com stuff for that, but it doesn't run on Linux, so we don't have that. But like it was a hassle to find that. It's like everything is broken and they keep messing with everything, and I'm just fucking fed off with fucking Google. They're fuckers.
Yeah, you're not alone in that. Although, to be honest, in a world full of fuckers, as you put it, they're probably no worse than any of the others.
Fuckers. You know how I used to be really Google fanboy. We used to fight about.
I remember, I remember the days when you were an Ubuntu fanboy.
I'm getting so weaned off all of this. I'm like, give me 10 more years and I'll be living in a fucking hut. Kind of like Jezra.
See, now you're starting to sound like me. Now you realise why.
I'll be like Jezra. I'm living in Southern California in some. Was he Northern California? I don't know. Some place in California.
It's Northern California. He's near San Francisco.
Don't get that wrong, otherwise people get pissed. No, he's in Petaluma, isn't he?
Yeah.
So I'll be hanging out there, and I'll be like pissed off with everything, using a really old phone, and like
a brick phone.
Working on a motorcycle.
I now feel a little bit like the Emperor. I feel like I should encourage you to embrace your anger and unleash your anger.
Speaking of Nokia, Mikos is on the Nokia board, by the way.
Martin Mikos.
Yeah, so maybe he's a ELOP as well. I don't know.
Maybe.
Fucking Google, if we don't need, like, they bought everything. They own YouTube, they own Twitch now. What am I supposed to use? What the fuck am I supposed to use to stream this to the internet in video? What am I supposed to use?
There you go. There's answers on a postcard, please. Or send them via email or something. LinuxOutlaws@6gun.org, or use the saloon. Meanwhile, this is a bug
that. We're gonna get some like really weird. It's like those people. Oh, Minecraft got bought. Oh, use Minetest. Yeah, some fucking open source fucking clone that's like 10 years behind Minecraft, and it's like fucking piece of shit.
Nice to see the nice to see the rums working.
I'm curling up with my rum here.
Yeah. Well, people keep telling us to use Mumble, but Mumble doesn't do video. Anyway, so meanwhile, back at the news.
Mumble.
Yeah. Meanwhile, back at...
Isn't that Indiana Jones VoIP service? Mumble.
I was thinking more of Stallone, actually. Anyway, so
did they ever do a phone call on HBO between Stallone and Harrison Ford? That would be fun.
Yeah, they should do it. I would like to hear.
What the fuck are you saying, Harrison?
I do. I would like to hear Stallone reviewing like Linux distros or something. That could work quite well.
Yeah.
You know, package the software, package the package, package the package. Anyway, so never mind. So meanwhile, back at security news, Enigmail, which I use actually, so I should pay attention to this. Has a bug in it.
Had a bug, it's fixed. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, had a bug. Enigmail is an extension for Thunderbird, and it does all the PGP stuff, and you do all your encryption stuff. I use it with my Thunderbird, and they had an error. They had a fault, a bug in there that was preventing encryption for any BCC recipients. So when you send an email and use a BCC, it would stop it. It says on previous versions of Enigmail, one could send an encrypted email to a set of BCC recipients. One could send. Yeah, that's right. Enigmail would ask if one of the recipients, if it wanted the recipient to hide the recipients, and then send the email encrypted to all of them without revealing who it was. Such functionality was missing. Okay.
Basically, if you composed an email and send it to only BCC recipients, that's the big thing.
Yeah.
This is why probably this happened to nobody. And you then send the email. It looked like it would send it encrypted, but really it wouldn't. But since then, I've learned that BCC on PGP is crap anyway. Because it BCC means, like, if I send something to you and BCC it to Dave,
I can't see that you
get the email, but you don't see that Dave got it too. If I CC him, you see that. But with PGP, since it exchanges all the keys in the header, you know that Dave got it because it lists his key in there.
Yeah.
So one idea would actually be to disable BCC in Enigmail at all, because it's kind of doesn't work as intended anyway.
Okay, so they've rolled it out anyway. To be honest, I mean, so you're saying if you only send it to BCC people, so if you had anything in the to box or the, other things, CC or whatever, then it wasn't a problem.
Well, then it would actually encrypt.
Right.
But weirdly, the BCC people couldn't open it because it wouldn't include their key. But at least it was encrypted.
But at least it was encrypted.
Not the other way around. It's like, if Snowden ever sends an email to Greenwald and Poitras and puts them in BCC.
As I'm sure he does all the time, yeah.
Yeah, but
and he's sending out his weekly updates, his newsletter.
Exactly. And then it's like fucking the NSA can read it.
Yeah.
I'm out of egg sandwich again. Fuck the Kremlin.
Yeah. To be honest, I mean, this probably hasn't affected me because, because I don't BCC stuff, and to be honest, very often, and I don't really encrypt mail very often either. I occasionally sign it. Sometimes I'll sign it, but I can't remember the last time I encrypted an email. It's mainly just signing for me.
Shame on you. The NSA wins.
Well, yeah, I use it for signing, but I don't use it for encryption. Anyway, so what else have we got? We're nearly up to the end now. Here we go, Minix, yeah. So there's a new release of Minix just out now, 3.3.0.
Remember him?
Yeah. Minix famously was the the thing that Linus based his OS off, or his kernel off.
Well, he wanted to improve. I think there's this famous debate, which is why people only know who Tannenbaum is, because he got in a fight with Linus, basically.
On kernels, but Minix was basically not a proof of concept. It was an academic. It was an academic kind of project, wasn't it? So it wasn't meant to be used as a real-world operating system. Then they changed it. Yeah.
Got a grant, and now they're working, this is Minix 3, and Minix 3 is supposed to be a real operating system.
So it says the first release with ARM support. Okay, interesting. Targeting Beagle boards, apparently. Experimental USB support for the Beagle Bone. They really are targeting the hacker market.
They're like advertising. They're linking to the site or something. I don't know.
Cross-compiling for both ARM and x86. LLVM bitcode build of the system, import of LLVM Clang sources. So basically, it looks like they're targeting the Beagle boards, the Beagle Bone, and some of the others quite heavily. Then maybe they'll have some success in that market. I don't know. And then what else have we got? Last story in the main kind of news and so on. RPM, which is the Red Hat packaging system, as you probably know. Yeah, it says they now support soft dependencies. So that's quite a big development. 4.12.0 has been released. The list of changes, blah blah blah. Here we go. So support for files of over 4 gigabytes. Wow. Support for files over 4 gigabytes in packages. Wow, that's a lot of packages. That's a big file. Support for weak dependency tags, apparently. Faster package generation and signing. New plugin interface. New APIs to access packages. Package payloads. Sorry. So yeah, it's better. It's better and it's got more shininess. So go and check that out. I think with that we should talk about the bit of feedback that we got, and then probably.
By the way, soft dependencies is stuff like recommends and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what it says in the. Sorry, yeah, it says that.
Has had for ages.
I haven't. I'm just trying to think. I haven't used RPM in quite a while. All my systems are either running Debian or some version of Debian or some derivative of Debian. So I think I don't think I've used RPM. I used to use CentOS sometimes. But I haven't used RPMs in a while. Anyway, so a few, well, there's only a couple of emails really to talk about. Phil Thompson from Peterborough says, while waiting for another 1.5 gigabytes of updates to crawl onto a brand new Windows laptop, I was looking at the system properties to see if it had the 8.1 update when I discovered that the OS was called Windows 8. This is in quotes, Windows 8.1 with Bing. I look forward to your review of this important release from Microsoft, which appears to have interesting cost and tie-in attributes according to, and he links us to a ZDNet article, which I read earlier. Yeah, apparently, so the gist of the ZDNet thing was that Microsoft has got a problem in that Google offers Android and Chrome OS for free to OEMs, I mean completely free, so they can just take it and do what they want, whereas Microsoft are still working on the model that they want to sell you a license. Even if it's a cheap license, they need to sell you a license because that's their business model, even if you're an OEM. And this new system, this Windows 8.1 with Bing, which is basically just seems to set Bing as the default search engine, which, to be honest, Bing! I thought Windows did anyway. I'm not sure. I thought Windows did that anyway out of the box.
No, I think it's the search engine that also the system uses, and I think you can't get rid of it or something. Or it's not.
No, you can get rid of it. According to this, it says OEMs can't change it. So according to the ZDNet article, the OEMs who get this Windows 8.1 with Bing for a very cheap price from Microsoft. I
think it's free, basically, isn't it?
It's not free. Well, they don't know. They're not saying. Nobody's saying it's not free. It's a very cheap. It's very cheap, apparently, but they don't think it's free.
I
anyway,
had the impression it was basically free.
It might be. I don't know. We don't know. They're not saying how much it is. It's all kind of hidden behind closed doors. So what apparently happens is
a rep from Microsoft.
Yeah. Apparently, the OEMs when they install the software can't change Bing or remove any of that stuff.
Bing.
They don't have the choice. But then it says once the user sets up the system or like boots into it for the first time, they do have a choice to change the search provider. So what I don't understand is what this is gaining Microsoft. I mean, maybe a few more people will use Bing because it's already on there, but what the fuck?
It's basically an excuse. They need to basically give Windows away for free. And they need an excuse to do that without everybody saying, well, if you give that for free, why do we have to pay for the other licenses?
Because it doesn't have Bing.
So they need to do some changes that kind of they can justify that with. I think it's not only the Bing thing. I think the Bing thing. I think there's also other things about it.
Okay.
I've talked to a colleague about this recently, but I can't remember. It might be the rum. I can't. Cheers.
So
says hello.
As you would expect, aye, Captain. As you would expect, there's lots of parallels between this and Chrome OS and Android and so on. So they're doing things like they've put restrictions on it, so you can only have this Windows 8.1 with Bing. Be it free or otherwise. On devices below a certain price. So if you're an OEM, and you want to sell a device for under $200 or under $300, for example, you can do this. If you want to sell a device for over whatever this threshold is, then they won't let you do this.
It's kind of like what they did with the netbook, so they ruined netbooks.
Yeah, a lot of people are calling them neo netbooks. These devices. So there's a
like neo Nazis.
Neo-Nazis, yeah.
Neo netbooks.
Neo netbooks, yeah. They're like skinhead netbooks.
Man, I used to have these neo Nazis hanging around my door, like kicking shit in, and now it's even worse. The police chased them away, and now there's all these neo netbooks.
Yeah, netbooks to deal with their shitty operating systems. So there's a few people doing this now. So there's quite a few tablets. They're trying to push this into the kind of low-end tablet and netbook, small, low-end laptop market. The trade show in Berlin recently, they showed Toshiba. Toshiba was showing.
I like this trade show. It's called the Internationale Funkausstellung.
Is it? Oh, right,
the International Funk Exposition.
Oh, no, that's cool. I would be very into that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Play that funky music, white boy. Anyway,
the colleagues did a live uplink from there. I was really sad. I wasn't there.
Was it funky? Were they all wearing flares and big glasses and like big medallions, hairy chests? Exactly. They're all. Meanwhile, they're all on roller skates while they're doing the tech news.
With huge afros.
Yeah. Anyway, so that
Toshiba. Reminds me, sorry, you go on a second, but that totally reminds me of the time we were in Berlin at Linux Talk, and we were seeing the big radio tower, which is called the Funkturm.
Funkturm, yeah.
And you were like off your rocker for like 10 minutes, going.
Yeah.
It's called the Funkturm. That's brilliant.
Anything with the word funk in it, it's got to be good. So Toshiba apparently have got a 7-inch tablet, which is going to use this Windows version. Acer are doing one called the Iconia, which is an 8-inch tablet. There's a number of laptops coming out with this now.
That's not 7 inches, boy.
Yeah, but they're talking about. So they were talking about this thing called WIM Boot, WIM Boot. Which is, that you probably know about this already, I don't know. But basically what it does is it uses, instead of, they were raving about the fact that you can get an install of Windows down to a mere 7 gigabytes of space, which on a small device is obviously, quite important. But I mean, 7 gigabytes, when you think of things like Tiny Core Linux and stuff, that's hardly a small operating system. Because what they're doing now is they're using the images that they used to only use for recovery. And you can now boot from those images and use them and stuff.
Yeah, basically, it's a new boot. Basically, it kind of, as you said, uses the image.
Yeah, it uses the image.
Blasts that into RAM or something. It's a bit like a live CD would work, I think.
Yeah, and it's all in flash memory.
Well, of course, you can change stuff. It's just like how that kind of boots.
It's not a bad idea, actually, yeah. So thanks to Phil Thompson for that one. The next one, this concerns you, actually. Michael Tenen wrote to ask you about...
Tenant?
Tenen, not Tenant. T-E-N-E-N.
What's the Tenant? What's his first name? I can't remember. Doctor Who
Michael.
Guy. Is that Michael Tennant?
It's not Tennant, it says Tennant.
Doctor Who wrote us.
Oh, you mean David Tennant?
David Tennant, yeah.
Yeah, sorry. And it's also a different name. It's spelled differently. Anyway, so, he wrote to ask you specifically about this a bike that he sent us a picture of.
Yeah.
The Moto Guzzi, yeah. He asked you for advice about Moto Guzzi.
Yeah, I have to click on that again. I think I answered him on this email. I might have forgotten to CC.
No, you did. No,
I think, it looks to me like a classic California. Can't remember. I think from the 70s. I think I said from the 70s. I put a link in the show notes. It looks, it's definitely California, which is the most sold Moto Guzzi, especially in Germany. It's that kind of bike. There'll be a link in the show notes. Actually, that ties it back to chips.
Did they have a Moto Guzzi?
No, I think it's called California because Moto Guzzi got a contract. I'll have to look up when it was. At some point, here we go. Blah, blah, blah. The first California was designed with the direct input of the Los Angeles Police Department Traffic Division to be the department's new V7 of choice. Original features, blah, blah, blah. Left foot gear shift. That's a bulletproof Lexan windshield. Awesome. The success of the model led to the other police departments ordering their own, including the California Highway Patrol. And this is why, at its introduction, civilian production, Moto Guzzi California was part of a try of motorcycles that include the special California and Ambassador. And that's why they called it California.
Okay.
It's actually kind of like the one. Mine's like the B7 is like Cafe Racer, but it shares a lot of the stuff. I think it originally got from the California, the shift, the gear shift, and it's the Brembo brakes and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm totally lost now because as you know, I'm not a bike guy, or I'm not an expert anyway. But yeah, that's very cool. So if you need any motorbike advice, send us your emails to Fab, and he'll dispense his biking expertise. You never know. You could win a free pair of leather pants. Free pair of very tight leather pants.
Pre-worn.
Oh, yeah. Pre-soiled.
But you
anyway.
have to pee in them to get them to fit.
Nice. Well, like a wetsuit. It's a bit like wearing a wetsuit. You can warm yourself up by weeing in them.
It's like you pee in them, then you wear them, and then you let them dry on your body, and then they fit perfectly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll pass on that, I think. So anyway,
Punch got that look.
maybe that's what it was. We had finally we had an email from Torrin Doyle who says, "Here are two browsers I highly recommend."
Irishman.
Well, that comes later, yeah. But first off, he said,
you have to read in a very insulting racist accent, though.
Well, we'll talk about that in a second. But anyway, he says, first up, he says, here are two browsers that I highly recommend. One called Pale Moon, apparently, which he says is very similar to Firefox.
Isn't that a beer?
Yeah, it could be. So I've been looking up Pale Moon. It says Firefox-based web browser available for Microsoft Windows and Linux. Doesn't tell me why I would want to use it, though. Offers you a browser experience in... Browser completely built from its own source with carefully selected features. Blah, blah, blah.
What?
Optimized.
Built from its own source. Isn't every software built?
Well, I was going to say, isn't all software built from its own source? It's not built from someone else's source.
I'm not an engineer, but that's how it should be, shouldn't it?
Should be. It says optimized for modern processors, Firefox-based.
Well, that's good because other browsers aren't. They're optimized for 286.
Supported by a friendly, active community of users. Blah blah blah. Familiar interface, smooth and speedy page drawing. Increased stability, apparently.
Does it have a little turtle that fucking...
I was going to say, maybe you should try it, because you apparently seem to struggle with Firefox. Okay. So it can also use existing profiles and things from Firefox. I can't see why I would particularly want to use this at the moment, but maybe I should try it out. Maybe it is faster. And then the other one he recommends is SRware.
Roman came up with a great name that we should have a podcast that combines motorcycle stuff and Linux. And call it Sons of Anarchy. Sons of Anarchy.
Oh no, I'm sure we'd get sued.
Called Archie. Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, John Archer wants to know when we're going to do Berlingo advice. That could be next. Yeah.
Berlingo, isn't that a car from Renault?
Yeah, I've got one. It's Citroen, actually.
You've got a Berlingo.
Yeah, you've been in it.
Oh yeah, right. I remember.
Oh yeah, that's right. You've been in it, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of thought they were slower, but then when you're driving it, every car
it's quite fast. Anyway, so I don't know if we'll be doing any Berlingo advice.
Just a little behind the scenes. Dan drives like a fucking maniac.
I do, yeah. Well, there's only why if you're going to drive, you're going to do it properly. You've got to be serious about it.
Exactly.
I like to drive like Winston Wolfe. That's the way I kind of go for it. So anyway, the other browser he recommended was called SRware Iron. So it's based on Chrome, and it says Google's web browser Chrome thrilled with an Google's web browser Chrome thrilled with an extremely fast suite of rendering. Blah blah blah. It also gets critic. Okay, so basically they're not happy about, as you'd expect, the kind of tracking stuff that's in Chrome, which a lot of people aren't happy about. So they've taken the Chromium project and built their own browser off it, why it's better than Chromium, I'm not sure. We could. It says there we've created a browser using that source from Chromium. You can now use all the innovative features without worrying about your privacy. We want our users to participate in our work. I can't speak. To participate in our work and make the browser free to download under the name SRIN into the net. Okay, I can't see why this is better than Chrome, though. To be a Chromium, sorry, not Chrome.
Because reasons.
If you're bothered about the tracking and you want to use Chrome, use Chromium, I would say. But there you go. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. So anyway, on to the other bit, and I'm going to tread lightly here. So Torrin was quite upset about our use of stereotypes about Irish people, let's say. Not that we don't use stereotypes about German people, English people, Americans, everyone else.
What stereotypes are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly. So apparently he wasn't happy with you saying that Irish people were too drunk to play cricket. Which I don't remember you saying, but to be honest, if you know anything about cricket,
it was a joke.
Yeah, well, there is that. If you know anything about cricket, you'll know that cricketers are renowned for being drunk, no matter where they're from. They could be English, Australian. I mean, fucking hell, look at the Australian team. Why
aren't they German? Why aren't they Bavarian cricketers? Can you imagine Bavarian cricketers in lederhosen with fucking they look like huge pretzels?
You could have padded lederhosen, for the pads. It could work. That could work. There's lots of drunk cricketers. Also,
he doesn't understand that drunk coming from me
is a compliment.
It's affection. It's meant affectionately.
Yeah, he also says nobody sounds like my Irish accent in Ireland, and that was kind of the point. That was what I said to him. Just as nobody sounds like our German voice or anything else. That's the point.
We all sound like this. What are you on about?
Yeah. So I think I think you have to realize it's all done in the name of kind of comedy and stuff. I also wrote him back saying that I realized that Father Ted isn't a documentary about the Catholic Church, which I often reference Father Ted. In so on.
No.
In my impressions. So fair enough. I mean, I hope I hope nobody's offended by it, but I don't think we're going to stop doing silly voices because of that. Send us your emails if you like. Send them to linuxoutlaws@sixgun.org. That's linuxoutlaws@sixgun.org, or go to sixgun.org where you can leave feedback in the saloon as well. And you can go to saloon.sixgun.org. You can find the notes for the shows. You can find other shows on the network and all kinds of other things over there. You can help support the show. Thanks to everyone who supported the show in the recent weeks. Is there anything else we need to say? I'm not sure. I
can't remember. I'm out.
Okay.
I'm done.
You've got to go and rant about Minecraft next. So.
Yep.
So
You'll hear that on this very network on a show called Steel Rain.
Yep. All right, so we're going to finish with a funky tune. It's funk again. I mentioned this is from Berlin. It's from it's not. It's from T-Bird and the Breaks, who we've played before. I love them. They're really cool. They're from Austin, Texas, and this is from their album Never Get Out of This Funk Alive, and the song's called Your Nasty Love, which is an interesting name for a song, but it's awesome. It's very cool. It's very funky. It's Creative Commons. You can find them at tbirdandthebreaks.com, or you can go to ratholeradio.org, where this song was featured on episode 131. And with that, I think we should play the music and then probably get out of here.
Yeah, they're cool. I like them. Let's do that. We'll see you probably next week. If not, I've got lost on the motorbike somewhere.
Or he can't get his leather trousers off.
On the last weekend, I spent 12 hours on the bike in 2 days.
Jesus, your leather trousers must be like worn away.
I wasn't wearing leather then, but yeah.
Even so, you must be like your crotch must be worn away like a Ken doll or something.
My ass hurt a bit, like my bones hurt because the Goodsey is like shaking a lot. So, but that was fun. I was just driving through the countryside, no phone, no internet, nobody.
Where did you drive to? Russia?
Duisburg. Oh. Yeah, but I felt like driving through fucking Russia. It was like there's nothing there. Like I don't drive along the highway, the autobahn, because that's boring. I drive along the country roads, which is kind of cool. That was fun. Yeah, so that happened. If you don't, there's not a show next week.
Yeah, Tommy Bobbins points out that the thing you talked about earlier with the weeing in your leather pants adds lubrication, so it's all good.
Yep.
Fair enough.
Oh yeah. You got to keep peeing in it, otherwise.
On that note, I can't think of a better titled song to play than "Your Nasty Love" by T-Bird and the Breaks. So let's have a listen to this. We'll see you very soon. Thanks for listening. Take care. Bye bye.
Keep wearing in those leather trousers.
Your nasty love feel like the setting sun. Your nasty love. Your nasty love is tearing up my world. Tearing up my world. Your nasty love is making money to burn. Your nasty love. Your nasty love has got a hole in his shoe. Your nasty love. Your nasty love is like the king of France. Your nasty love. Your nasty love is turning black and blue. I keep a time knocker in my sock. My own same time to bring power line and chalk. You will never come calling to carry me home. I'm gonna take your love with me to the twilight zone. Your nasty love is smoking cracks all days. Your nasty love. Your nasty love was made in Vietnam. Your nasty love. Your nasty love is da-da. Your nasty love. Your nasty love that got your mother's eyes. I drink my juice to keep things loose. My whole same time the brain hanging from your noose. And when the death comes calling for to carry me back, I'm gonna take your love with me in my government sack. Looking for your nasty love.
Take me home, take me back to my mama. Working for your nasty love is just too much trouble.
Looking for your nasty love, it doesn't do much
Take
now.
me home, take me back to my mama. Take me back to my mama. For your nasty love is just too much trouble. Working for your nasty love is just too much trouble. Take me back to my mama.
Looking for your nasty love.
Working for your nasty love.
Working for your nasty love, yeah. I'm just working for your nasty love, yeah. I'm just working for your nasty love, yeah. I'm just working for your nasty love, yeah.
Oh, that finished quicker than I expected.
Yeah. The funk. The funk is in. The funk doctor.
Yeah, if you like that, if you enjoyed listening to that, go and check out T-Bird and the Breaks. That's the name of the band. And they've got loads of stuff on Bandcamp. It's all under Creative Commons as well, so go and support them. And and help them out. I really like them. I got a new album of theirs recently. It's not a new album for them. It's a new album for me. Let's say it's one of their older albums, but it's very good. So I encourage people to check them out. They're very cool. tbirdandthebreaks.com, I think, is the address. I've just posted it in the show notes, and of course it'll be in the show notes. I've just posted it now. So, and with that, I'm going to let you go and do your next show because you've got more to do.
Here, I'll kill the stream. We'll be live with Steel Rain with another broadcast in just a few minutes.
If you can figure out the Google stuff.
Yeah, and if Dave's done with the bake-off.
I think he has, yeah. All right, I'm going to kill the Icecast, so I'm afraid you'll have to tune in via